All right, buying a home in 2025, it's not what it used to be. Let's just be honest here. You're feeling frustrated. There's sky high prices. There's underwhelming condos that we've talked about in our last few videos. There's a sense that the ownership is just kind of out of reach for you, and you're not alone, but there's actually good news is there's a new way to actually start to buy a home right now. It's being more strategic, being more flexible, and thinking about what actually works in today's market. There's always people transacting in every single real estate market, so you have to kind of figure out what the best way to actually do it is in today's market. This video is the third part of a series that we kind of been building. So if you want to watch those last two videos, I'll have them pinned at the end of the video here, where we expose these small little micro condos under 500 or 400 square feet, exploited some of the cheap condos in the second video in the GTA, showing you what is actually affordable under $400,000 in the GTA. So today, I want to actually give you a little bit of a playbook on how first-time home buyers and people who are moving up from their condo to their next property are actually making some things happen in 2025, because there's a lot of people who aren't making anything happen, and there's a lot of people who are sitting on the sidelines as well. And if you're serious about actually moving forward with your home buyer journey, now you can be way far out, but if you get my free starter pack resource in the pinned comment, I'll kind of just give you some guidance on what your next steps might be, whether it's months out, years out, whatever that looks like for you. It's a free resource that I've got there for you. So let's start real quick, just a little reality check. Traditional way people buying homes and kind of going down that process is just not making a lot of sense anymore. The traditional model was save for a 20% down payment, buy your condo downtown Toronto if you wanted to, sell it in 3 to 5 years, and move up to a house. Not even a townhouse necessarily. But here's what's changed. The prices, they're too high. Wages, they did not go up with the home prices. Condos, they started to get smaller and more expensive. Interest rates, well, they make that monthly cost right now way harder to manage. And competition, it got more difficult, even in this slower market right now. So that one bedroom starter condo, it's really not that golden ticket for most people anymore, unfortunately. The fact is that right now, in many cases, these condos can be a trap for you if you're not prepared with what you need to do. So this means people who are buying in 2025 are doing things differently. Now, you got to buy for utility and not for future value. Don't be buying something and hoping that it's going to go up in value. That was the old mindset. Buy whatever gets me in the market, it'll go up in value for sure. New mindset, it needs to be buy what you can actually grow into over the next 3 to 5 years. Here's the difference. Instead of 400 square foot condo that you think is going to go up in value, maybe get a slightly older condo in an older building, might have a little bit higher maintenance fees, but you're going to have more space that you can grow into. Instead of that downtown condo, choose an area that has good transit access and long-term livability that can get you downtown, because you might not need to be there every single day. People who are winning in 2025 are kind of focusing on how their home fits their life and not just what it looks like on paper. Because if you put that box in a different area, it might be okay to live in a Mississauga and commute to a Toronto. Most buyers that I'm helping right now are thinking about their first purchase, but it's not the only thing they're thinking about. They're thinking about what is next down the road. And I don't want my clients buying something today and then down the road not prepared for what that next step is. They're asking, can I rent out this property? What are the limitations here? Can I rent it Airbnb style? You need to kind of figure out what is possible and what isn't. The questions that they're asking are, would I be able to keep this, rent it out, and buy another property? Answering these questions is going to get you to that end goal a lot easier. And the third thing I'm actually getting quite a bit is, can I co-buy this with somebody else and maybe sell half of it to them later, or they can sell half of it to me if I want? Now, co-buying is something that you can do, but I would caution you, don't co-buy with anybody that you don't trust 1000%, because you're setting yourself up for a little bit of a mess if you go ahead and do that, especially if somebody needs their money and somebody doesn't need their money. Smart buyers, they're not just buying for now, they're buying with a strategy that leads into the future of their next property as well. One example that I really do love is that some of the buyers that we're dealing with are skipping the condo entirely, and they're going straight to a stacked townhouse or a 2-bedroom condo, maybe with a roommate strategy where they'll offset their monthly costs here and keep future flexibility for themselves. So you buy a 2-bedroom condo, you rent out one of those bedrooms, share it with somebody else, but you buy it yourself. Then when they're ready to leave, you can utilize that second bedroom for the rest of your life, that significant other, that child, whatever that looks like for you. So the market right now, it's not hot. Let's not beat around the bush there. It's not a hot market. It's pretty uncertain out there. There's a lot of things up in the air with an election coming up in the next week here. You don't know which housing plan is going to actually come to fruition. Even though we're told a lot of things, things don't necessarily happen like they are told. Here's what I recommend. Focus on listings that have been sitting around the market for 20 plus days at least. You know that price is negotiable from their list price at least a little bit. Look for properties that are staged but vacant. Now, why? Because if they're staged, that means there is more motivation for people to actually go ahead and sell this unit. They put more money into the sale. Ask the agent you're dealing with to dig into the seller situation, make some calls. Are they under pressure? Did they already buy a pre-construction project that closes soon? These are important factors that are going to really come into the whole big picture here for you in securing something that makes sense today. And remember, you can actually negotiate lots of different things. It's not just the price. It's the conditions, it's the terms, it's the furniture possibly. You can stretch out your closing timeline to make it work for you and the seller. This is the most negotiable market that we have seen in years. Make sure you use that to your benefit. Now, the dream of buying that detached home in your 20s with a big backyard, the dream is mostly gone. Let's be honest here, but let's replace that dream with something that is more grounded in today's reality. It might not be that. It might be a functional, well-located condo that's got tons of space for you in an older building. It might be a property that gives you more control over your monthly expenses. So you can still enjoy certain things out there without being strapped on that mortgage payment every single month that's just stressing you to death. And think about something as a long-term investment. Don't compare what you are doing now to what your parents did, because they all bought a house for under $100,000, and that just ain't the future here anymore. 2025 success in real estate, it definitely looks a lot different. It looks like having a plan, sticking to that plan, buying something that actually works for you. And if you watch the last couple of videos here, the ones on the tiny condos, and I showed you the cheapest condos across the GTA, you already know the market's a little bit upside down in the way things are working. But if you take the right approach right now, there's still definitely a path to home ownership. So feel free, grab any of the free resources we have available in the pinned comment down below. Feel free, you can always text me at the number here on screen. And don't forget to check out those other videos right here if you already missed them. This market's confusing. You don't have to figure it out alone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.